That's what Ganesha does, it seems.
I know, Ganesh is like the ultimate nice guy.
Yeah, he just gives you his kill.
Free
Yeah.
kills, free kills.
Alright. Talk to you after the stream if you guys are awake, or if I
Okay.
am awake. Bye.
Uh,
Hello, and welcome. I guess this is one of those really um, indie games. Well, I have heard of other. I'm not sure how to put it. Trick and treat. I've seen visual novels of it. I mean, this is a visual novel, but it's more of a comic kind of thing. I did see them, but this is the visual novel adaptation of it. I hope this has the entirety of the visual novel, but I mean entirety of the story. If it does, we will work through it and finish it, I guess. This is a one-off stream, and thank you for anyone who is tuning in or jumping in on YouTube to watch this video. I hope this relaxes you, and at the same time I hope you have fun. The sound of our steps, combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal, is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only things that light up our way. At times like this, one begs to not run out of the battery. We walk without knowing what we were looking for, or better said, for no reason. We're just a group of boys, bored with our lives, as one is, trying to create a lasting memory on this night, instead of just staying home, doing nothing. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, or Halloween's Eve, as people might put it. Oh, hey, better known as Halloween. It's not Halloween's Eve. Three young men walk through a dark but up until now, nothing special forest. Me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Seeing it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. For a moment I stop to look at my watch. It's 1:49 AM. I hope this is all coming out. Let me just check. So you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What is the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return. I should tell them. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Suddenly a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from 1 second to the other. So much so, my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, just a little short from being unbearable. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. We all stop at that moment. What's happening? I asked, confused, while turning to look at my friends. By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless, like statues without making a noise, just looking at each other's face, wondering the same thing. What was happening? As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belong to a human, or at least to a large animal, but there is something strange about them. It sounded as if the person walked dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret. I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where where it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friends seemed unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal, said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief, however. Bad luck would soon strike us again. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just a blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but of our flashlights, which went out. Of the three, only one, mine, was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Asked one of them, scared. Well, they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. Oh, they beat them desperately. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in darkness was not pleasant for anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard, but the silence is different now. We're not quite quiet, because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. None. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I cannot remember anything of this forest. We could be walking in circles, and I would never notice it until it is too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footsteps of someone or something. Once more, the three of us become statues awaiting the presence to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn! Get away from here! Leave us alone! Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they do not disappear, but rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere, looking for the author of these footsteps, hoping for the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing. Is that all there is around here? Just empty air. My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. I'm sure of it. Quickly, I point to the same place, only to discover it was gone. There was nothing. I held my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I'm sure that I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I aim the light towards the place. What I found leaves us paralyzed, with an expression of disbelief on our faces. It was a white cat, with eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. Her look is not friendliest. It's not the friendliest to say something. Somehow I get the feeling it's a female cat. I wonder why. Hiss! Suddenly she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It sounds more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us three. Hey, it rhymed. I fell to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. Oh. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Interlude before night falls. It is a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a kid, or at least seems that way. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was the tomato man. But those things didn't matter to me, since we always had a good time. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I'm 17 years old. Excuse me. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry. That was the problem I needed to fix. My fan is excessively noisy, and I would guess that's not ASMR friendly. Anyway, getting back on topic. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco. Disco. You can tell the game is set in 80s or 70s when the discos are all the rage. Well, I'm not old enough. I'm not old for knowing that. You're just not well informed. If you didn't know that. Well, if you didn't know the cliche, anyway. I no doubt, guys, as us would have any luck in that environment. The other options would be to go to a party, meet girls and have fun. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Hey Axel, let's have a couple of matches, what do you say? My friend Steven, the generic guy, the generic friend, well, he called my attention while playing with the gaming console. Rush Red, or is it Rushed? Let's say it's Rush Red. Rush Red. I believe that's what the game is called. Oh, the game is called Rush Red. That makes sense. Well, makes sense in the gaming world, probably. It's just a name. Not much to comment on. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel in the mood today. Is it because it's October 31st and you need to go to forest this night? I'm guessing this is the prelude, like the preface of what happened that night, before that night. I have no desire to play now. Well, I do, that's why I'm playing, but I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me. Well, you should try out multiplayer then. How about that? How about them being Steven? Anyway, Steven said with confidence that you playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. Yeah, Steven, what the fuck, Steven? I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. I said, leading that attention to my other friend. So there is Steven, there is Alfred. I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He's sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. Just casual porn is all, I'm sure. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he is in Wikipedia. Oh, he's one of those. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? Oh, Axel. asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He's one of those pseudo-intellectuals, always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. Well, who isn't? Like, appearing smarter than others really feels good, at however brief the moment. So, advice to you kids, whoever's watching: appear smarter than others, and don't act smug about it. I mean, they will revere you for whatever knowledge you have. But if you start acting smug, then they're gonna ignore you. So, no more, act less smug. And when others tell you stuff that you might already know but they think you don't, then act like they know more. Like, would you be more friendly with someone who thinks well of you, highly of you, or someone who thinks lowly of you? Food for thought. When we forgot about our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. And excuse me again. And back again. I'm sorry about this, small intrusions. I'm pretty sure I might have edited it out of the YouTube video, but I can't do so in the stream. So, when we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them, he added later. What are you talking about? This village is small, and its story is not interesting at all. And nothing outside of normal has ever happened in it. Arthur laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? as without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place, Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant anime fashion. Ha! Right on the nose bridge. He says, there is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it was not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this, learn a little, Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Town of Abington, Oxfordshire country, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I have seen many crimes, yes. Some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I am able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol, but was still sober. Or at least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently, he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say, stop. But truth is, we don't know what happened then. The tracks suddenly end up in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace, or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point did he stand still. It was as if he was vaporized in the air, with all his clothes. In the middle of his walk. Obviously I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and become earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days, with no evidence of any kind. We couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, well, officially, there was no more to do. I couldn't sleep in peace, thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise I found 4 more, all young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st, the Halloween. But there is more. A detail completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this, and that is the separation of years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. And worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I mean, it could be a killer, it could be an apprentice of a killer that used to be, or maybe it's a monster that no one has come across yet. Maybe it's the cat, who knows? My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. The word witch has huge similarity with witch, taking into consideration that it is an old name and language changes over time. That indicates that it was the forest of the witches. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. There were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. Well, excuse me, I'm going to advertise myself. Alright. That was good enough. Now, going back, apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. There were stories told in voice without a properly written record. I just know that with a change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one, before her death, cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist, and is the curse that anyone that walks in the forest on October 31st melts into nothingness. Or maybe it's just a portal. Spoilers. Cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village. Using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town. I said honestly surprised, even if it is a lie. It managed to hold my interest. Wait, there is something more, Alfred said. At the same time he scrolls to the comments. We read what is written there. A couple of comments call to our attention. Both of them talk about the same creature. At that time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. Well, the two comments share great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went into the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame because it is true. Partially. Partly, yes. He admitted it. That was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, now we have an activity for tonight, Stephen said. At the same time he makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple. Let's go to that forest, Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. He only needed to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go. Of course. It will be a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence, perhaps too much. He said I should relax a bit. Oh, Stephen too, so confident against AIs, and now against his friends. Don't tell me you're afraid. No. Why should I be afraid? Oh, he got goaded into that. Not much of a bright bulb is Alfred. Ah, cute guy, answered Alfred. At the same time he folds his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you're afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Me? Well, I won't lie, I am scared of utter darkness, where I cannot see anything and I'm all by myself. Mostly because, well, it's creepy, and anyone who says otherwise is, well, lying. So, in game though, I'd say no, I'm not afraid. Suddenly Stephen asks me, at the same time looking at me mockingly, "Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group." I hate the tone of voice he used. Oh, I didn't know Axel was Marty McFly. You get the reference, probably. "I will never give you that," I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. "Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We are going to the forest," Stephen said, full of energy. "Yeah," everyone exclaimed. We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party. Yeah man, private parties are all the rage, I love them. Not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. Oh, the ominousness. And at 2:13 AM, I think we'll be back at the forest, where the dread crept upon us. I awake, completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My head hurts like hell, but I cannot blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I came back to my senses. My flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Stephen and Alfred were there with me. "Stephen, Alfred, can you hear me?" Without thinking, I screamed their names in the dark while trying to find them with my flashlight. Flashlight. Not flashlight. Sorry. Find them with my flashlight. But there is no trace of them. They are gone. Where the hell are they? And what the heck just happened? I really don't understand anything. Shit, we should have stayed at home. This is not a proof of courage. We could be in danger. I have to find them. 2:19 AM. Just 6 minutes after I started searching for them. Little time has passed since I started to look for my friends, and I already can't stand this place. Well, it has only been 6 minutes, my dear Axel. I'm going crazy in this forest. The darkness that covers it is unnatural. It is a darkness that steals your own sanity, replacing it with anxiety. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold, as in winter, carrying a strong rot smell, as if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. The atmosphere in this place is oppressive, with every step you take, it makes you more uncomfortable. Since I started to look for my friends, I felt like something is watching me. But there is nothing. I sigh, with my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I'm sorry for the voice breaking. Give me a moment. I sigh, with my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I continue walking devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. I cannot even hear the sounds of animals. Rather, it seems they are already dead or rotting. No, I have to calm myself, I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathe deeply, but the rotten air of this place does me no good. Immediately I start to cough, as if I had something stuck in my throat. Shit. What am I doing? What am I going to do? This cursed forest seems endless. And even if by miracle I could escape, I cannot abandon Stephen and Alfred. I really screwed up. Again I sigh, feeling on the verge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall into despair, then there is no meaning. I will be joining the list of missing persons. In the end, I decide to keep walking. Step by step, I should get somewhere. At least I was convinced that staying at the same place would not do me any good, even if it was only to deceive myself, feeling that I am doing something. I wanted to continue walking. Time passes without any changes. Only the sound of my footsteps can be heard, and knowing that as soon as you stop, you will be surrounded by a dead silence is a good incentive to keep walking. But my legs were already hurting. Suddenly I hear a crack at my feet. Instantly I take a step back and look below to see what made the sound. Oh, what is this? I whispered to myself, surprised, discovering that I had stepped on animal bone. Oh God. I believe that it's from an animal, although I do not rule out the possibility that it belongs to a person. But for my own good, I prefer not to think about that. Don't think about that. An expression of anguish is drawn on my face. It is best to ignore it. I have to keep walking. I have to. Suddenly my flashlight reveals something. Without hesitation, I point towards there again. Only to realize, with surprise, that it is the white cat, the one from before, which made that awful meow. But this time I found it lying on the ground. It appears to be fainted and is wounded. Then what should I do? And there we come across the first choice. And I think I'll leave the video there. We shall continue the video in the next part by choosing an option. Till then, good night. And that was for YouTube. Well, welcome back to another part of, well, sorta ASMR. Trick and treat. And we'll be picking up the cat. I mean, who the hell doesn't pick up a stray cat that's obviously probably wounded? I mean, it was energetic a moment ago and fainted now, so I would either nurse such a cute kitty, back to health, or wait there for her owner to show up. Well, obviously, if I had nothing else, obviously, if I did have something else, I would pick up the cat and give her to nearby police. I don't know. Well, I say all this banter, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be doing any of that. Who knows, until I come across a stray cat that's fainted. So, our first choice in the game, I'd say pick her up. It is best to continue without waking her, because she was rather angry the last time she came across us. The cat is dangerous. It's her fault that I ended up in this place and my friends are missing. Well, not exactly, but I get where you're coming from, Alex. But even knowing that, for some strange reason, I cannot help but feel sorry for her. Even if it is unnatural, it is still an animal. I then bent down to see her closer. She is unconscious, and there is a thin line of blood coming from her mouth. That means she either fought something or ate some rat. Who knows? But for now we will nurse her. I am a real idiot. Oh fuck. I am a real idiot. I'm a real idiot, I said to myself. At the same time, I cleaned the blood from her mouth with a handkerchief that I had with me. Fortunately, she doesn't wake up. I then close her mouth, making her appearance a little better. Now she seems to be peacefully sleeping. Oh, I just missed what it said. Damn. Well, let me say. What it said was, after a long sigh, and probably petting her on my lap, because I would do that. I don't know what the powers of this cat are, but if she brought me here, maybe she can return me to my world. With her in my arms, I decide that the best thing I can do is to continue walking. 2:31 a.m. and we have a cat in our hands, and we are walking aimlessly in this dark forest. Again, I find myself in the dark forest, walking aimlessly, only to move forward, but it didn't seem I was getting somewhere. In my arms, I carry the cat, which sleeps soundly. Come here. Here you'll be safe, voice said. I suddenly stop. It was probably easy to see the disbelief on my face at that moment. Is that voice again? I whispered to myself, no one to listen to me. Shortly after, I found my cat. I found the cat. A mysterious voice appeared in my mind. It is a feminine voice, soft and gentle, as if it belonged to a princess from a fairy tale. But I can't trust it. I cannot. Am I really going crazy? Or is it this forest that doesn't make any sense? I don't know, but I don't like any of the two options. You mean either option? I can feel the cat move in my arms. I look down at her confused, just to see how she opens her eyes suddenly. And probably scratches this, but hey, cat, am I right? I become quiet at that instance. For a moment the two stayed motionless, staring into the eyes of the other. The red eyes of the cat are disturbing to me, but also there is something fascinating about them, something that attracts me. I lose myself in her eyes, as if hypnotized, until suddenly she jumps with the intention of scratching my face. Ow! My reflexes is pushing her at the same time. I jump back, turning my head to dodge her claws. I managed to dodge her attack, but in the process, I dropped my flashlight. I panicked and acted clumsily. The flashlight falls near me, and guys, don't worry about dropping your cat. And they have a thing where which makes them take 0 fall damage. Well, basically they have fall cushioning, so if they slip on a wall and fall down onto the ground, they would stand straight up without any help or injury. So if you by accident drop your cat, not kitten, because kittens might not have learned that, your cat, if you drop her or him by accident, don't panic. They're fine. You're fine. Okay? You're totally fine. As soon as it left my hand, I remember how dense this abnormal darkness is. I quickly pick it up, not even thinking before taking action. I then light the place where the cat was. That's my ASMR cat hissing. Only to discover she had arched her feared an attack from me. Those red eyes stare at me, shining with the light of the flashlight, as if they were jewels, reflecting a fearsome hatred and rejection towards me. My body freezes after seeing them. I can't even think. The cat then lets out a thunderous meow, similar to the one before, but weaker. Maybe because she's hurt, or maybe because she just ate a huge load and she got that. Don't take the huge load dirtily, you pervs. Yeah, we all know what's gonna happen. This is an anime game, and the cat, since she's being focused on so much, is gonna turn into a girl. Ta-da! Surprise! Although not any less frightening. There is no doubt there is something wrong with the animal. It must be cursed. Everything is her fault. She must be some kind of evil spirit, a pet of the witches. I feel how panic seized me. My heart beats quickly, begging me to do something. My mouth is dry and my forehead covered with cold sweat. What should I do? What should I do? I will confront the cat. It is a bloody cat. I'm not gonna run away from the cat until it shows some kind of supernatural power, even if I die. So, what does the cat do? No. I should not despair. I have to calm down and think carefully about what I should do. With that in mind, I take a deep breath and look again at her. Soon, the expression in my eyes change from fear to courage. I realize it is only a cat, without a doubt a strange one, but my life is not actually in danger. That isn't a tiger staring at me, but a simple cat. Apparently, her only power are those weird meows. If she could kill me, she would have done so already. So she's afraid, that's why she's meowing. And our main character is afraid, and that's why we got the previous two options of running away from the cat and not picking up the cat. Well, I already know what kind of a protagonist this guy is. Well, let's try to change it. If she could kill me, she would have already done it. So I rule out the possibility. Her work must be transporting the next victim to the area of this forest. So unnatural and shady. After filling my lungs with air, I slowly walk towards the cat. Her meows get louder with every step, but I don't let them scare me. Seeing that I do not turn back, she shyly takes a step back. In my mind, I smiled at that image. The prey is now the hunter. What kind of kid is this Axel? He thought he was the prey of a cat. Well, I wouldn't blame him, seeing that the Wikipedia entry freaked the fuck out of him and his friends before. And in this dark forest on Halloween, they get lost, and He finds this cat as the only possible reason. So, okay, the meekly cat. Let's see what happens next. I look at her directly while advancing. Little by little, her meows become weaker, as if she was losing strength. Then I suddenly jump and take her into my hands. She hardly resists at all. And not so tough now, right? You look better like this. She's trembling in my hands. She looks so helpless that I almost feel like a villain. Oh, the cute cat. Well, the art isn't exactly top-notch, but it is an indie game and a free game, so what do you expect? The story is entertaining till now. But I must not forget all that she has done so far. It's her fault that I'm in this place. So obviously we are in a different place than the forest we have entered from our village. So this is like a different portal, different dimension. She brought me here. Then if I kill her, would it be possible to go back? I'm not killing that cat. Don't give me that option. For a moment, that grim idea crossed my mind. I had never killed an animal. Truth is that I can't be proud of myself in doing such a thing. But if I do, maybe this legend could end here and now. Then what should I do? I'm not gonna kill her. Fuck you, game. It is only logical. The magic should die along with the cat. That should be my ticket back. If I kill her, everything would be over tonight and the legend would come to an end. Maybe that's a different ending. So we can try that in a different walkthrough. For now, let's go ahead and keep the cat alive, because till now we only went to a forest based on a urban legend and got lost, and I don't want to kill cat and go home. That will not be my night. Sorry. Confident that it was for the best, I try to view it in my mind. But no matter how hard I force myself to see it, in the end I'm unable to take the life of another living being. Even if it is a cursed cat serving a witch, I don't feel good killing her. I think I'm too nice for my own good. Oh, not killing a cat is labeled too nice. You heard it here first, guys. So as long as you don't kill cats, you can do anything. Evil whispers, evil whispers. So, the only thing that remains is to keep her with me, hoping that sooner or later she allows me to escape. With nothing more to think about, I decide the best thing to do is to continue my path. And we hold the cat and move forward in this deserted forest that we have no idea where it is or how we got there. And this mysterious cat that probably will turn into an anime kitty girl soon enough, hopefully. Well, 2:41 AM. It's been a few minutes since I captured the cat. Again, I find myself walking with her in my arms. followed by the strange voice. How long have I been walking in this forest? Apparently not enough